विश्वं दर्पणदृश्यमाननगरी तुल्यन्निजान्तर्गतं पश्यन्नात्मनि मायया बहिरिवोद्भूतं यथा निद्रया यस्साक्षात् कुरुते प्रबोधसमये स्वात्मानमेवाद्वयं तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये बीजस्यान्तरिवाङ्कुरो जगदिदं प्राङ्निर्विकल्पं पुनः मायाकल्पितदेशकालकलना वैचित्रचित्रीकृतं मायावीव विजृम्भयत्यपि महायोगी वयस्वेच्छया तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ Verse 122. यावद्विज्ञानसामीप्यं तावत् शैष्ठ्यं विवर्धते ब्रह्मज्ञानायते साक्षात् निर्गुणोपासनं शनैः। 123. यथा संवादिविभ्रान्तिः फलकाले प्रमायते विद्यायते तथोपास्तिः मुक्तिकालेति पाकतः. So up to verse 22, Vidyaranya dealt with a topic of difference between Aham Brahmasmi Upasana Vritti and Aham Brahmasmi Jnana Vritti. So difference between Nirguna Brahma Jnanam and Nirguna Brahma Upasana has been established, which has begun from verse 74 with the question of a Purupakshi, etc. And having completed that topic, well, now from 123 to 157, Vidyaranya is going to discuss another topic, which is also a very speciality of Pancadasi. That he makes a statement in 122 in a second line. What is the statement? Nirgunopasanam Sakshat Shanaihi Brahma Jnanayate. This Nirguna Upasana itself, Shanaihi, slowly, gradually, leads Sakshat directly, gives Brahma Jnanayate, gives Brahma Jnana. So this Nirguna Upasana gives Brahma Jnana. Means if person does this Nirguna Upasana, we should understand this. Aham Brahmasmi, Aham Brahmasmi, Aham Brahmasmi, Aham Brahmasmi keeps repeating. Need not attend classes. He need not attend. No classes. But somehow somebody told him that this mantra is there and you do this. I am Brahman, I am Brahman, I am Brahman. Keep doing this. Bhavana. Upasana is Bhavana. Bhavana will give rise to knowledge. One need not study Upanishad. So, it reveals like this that Upanishad, the Shabda Pramana also gives a Jnanam, Aham Brahmasmi. Since Upasana also gives Jnanam, another Pramana. Nowhere it is said. And so, this is to be understood. That statement is, it looks like it is not a controversial statement, but looks like this. The people like you and me, when we hear like this, we feel we have never heard. Shabda is a pramana, Upanishad, Vedanto Nama Upanishad pramana. And therefore, how can this be possible? And in what manner Upasana becomes a pramana? That itself is a question. Why Upasana cannot be a pramana? Pramana gives Jnana. Parama. Manadhina miya siddhi. Very beautiful statement of a Nayayika, very popular. Manadhina, adhina, depending upon the manam, the pramanam. Manam and pramanam are same. Pra upasarga, you add the nakara turns to nakara because of the refa present in that pra. So manam or pramanam. Mana adhina meya siddhi. Any prameya, the object of knowledge, well, is established. Depends upon the pramana, means of knowledge. So means of knowledge only give rise to knowledge. If Nirgun Brahma Upasanam gives rise to knowledge, then Nirgun Brahma Upasanam becomes a pramana. But Nirgun Brahma Upasana is a bhavana. Bhavana. Where you look upon one thing as the other, that is kind of a superimposition bhavana. When you look upon one thing as the other, it's actually Brahma. Where is Brahma? When you see a given thing as it is Jnana. For that only the means of knowledge is used. Upasana is a superimposition. Samadhi Brahma we know. And therefore it is a Brahma. Cannot lead to knowledge. Clear? And therefore even Vidyaranyas made this statement, but he felt that he has to clarify how Nirgun Brahma Upasanam directly gives knowledge, like that it is said. We have to insert Vakya Vichara, etc. That is going to be explained, and therefore he is discussing this from 123 to the almost end of the chapter, 157. So that is that is the topic now. So how this Upasana Vritti gets converted to Jnana Vritti? What is the mechanism? What is the procedure? Is it a mystical thing that if a person does this Upasana, well, ultimately without knowing that I am Brahman, he doesn't know, but he keeps repeating I am Brahman, I am Brahman, I am Brahman. One day suddenly, some explosion occurs in the mind and he will come to know that I am Brahman. No. So he's going to explain that. Essence of this topic is Upasana Vritti can't become automatically Jnana Vritti. Upasana Vritti is basically a superimposition upon oneself as Brahman. Brahman is Nirgunam Brahma is superimposed upon oneself. That's a Nirgun Brahma Upasana. It cannot become a Jnana Vritti. It cannot become a fact that I am Brahman. So, so if that is so, then it becomes a pramana, but that cannot be like that. And both the ways. Here, we have to understand that Upasana Vritti cannot become Jnana Vritti. That's the first thing. Similarly, mind also cannot produce Jnana Vritti by itself. Well, the mind, just because the mind basically is not a sadhana, really speaking. Mind is not an independent means. We have to understand this. Mind always has to support a sense organs. And then it becomes, actually the sense organs give a direct knowledge. Mind has to support it. Yeah. Mind cannot contact the world directly and gain jnana. That's the first thing. But Swamiji, forget about pratyaksha jnana. But so, what about the inference? So, in inference you use mind. You don't use senses. And inference also is a pramana. But inference is also based on pratyaksha, ultimately. And therefore, mind is basically a supporting means. Pratyaksha is a mula pramana. And therefore, based on pratyaksha only you do inference. And there also you see drishtanta, etc. in many examples you take. That's also pratyaksha. Please understand this. So therefore, mind is not a independent means. When even you take mind as like you understand, you compare one thing with the other and you come to know something. There also you take the example for comparison, which is pratyaksha. Puja Swamiji is a very beautiful example of, a bison. Person has not seen a bison. I like that example. Person has not seen a bison, and you want to give the knowledge of a bison to the person in India. Here, perhaps might have seen. I don't know. Maybe they have bison, but you want to give knowledge. How will you give knowledge of a bison to the person who has never seen bison? Well, you say you give a knowledge by comparing with something which he has seen. He has seen buffalo. So then you start description that it looks like buffalo and it is shorter than buffalo, etc. Whatever way. So you ultimately give a knowledge of a bison which he has not seen through the senses. Still he will gains the knowledge only through the mind. But there also pratyaksha is a basis, drashtanta, which he has already seen. If he has not seen a buffalo, you cannot give an example of a buffalo to the person for giving a knowledge of bison. And therefore, pratyaksha is a mula pramana. Then anumana and all other things, even our presumption, etc., arthapatti also. Arthapatti is generally based on a smriti. And smriti is based on anubhava, pratyaksha. Even this is arthapatti. What? Sukhamam aswapsam nakinchid avedisham. That is arthapatti. Oh, I slept happily. I did not know anything. Nakinchid avedisham. When you wake up, you said, I slept happily. I did not know anything in deep sleep state. So when you make this statement, is based on smriti, right? Your smriti. When you wake up, you have that smriti, memory, and that smriti is born of what? Anubhava, in deep sleep state, where you experience a joy, where you experienced ignorance. That is converted into memory when you wake up, and from memory you make a statement. Well, that's called arthapatti. How arthapatti, Swamiji? Unless I experience a joy in deep sleep state, I cannot make a statement, I slept well. Well means happily. Yeah. There is a wellness, you say, generally nobody says I slept happily. I slept well. So that well means happily. Yeah. That shows happiness. So my point is, that is arthapatti. In Nyaya Shastra we call it as a paramarsha. This is called paramarsha. That's arthapatti. Anyatha anupapatti. My statement has no basis. I slept happily, I did not know anything, etc. Has no basis. Well, in absence of that anubhava, pratyaksha. So arthapatti also has a basis in pratyaksha. Arthapatti, we give a lot of examples. When a doctor comes to know, right? Doctor, identifies the disease in a person, ultimately based on pratyaksha, certain direct evidences. And then, well, he removes all other possibilities, and then how much fever, how many times it comes, and this and that. All is a direct experience. You ask to the patient. Arthapatti is a bigger pramana than even anumana. Very beautiful. In science, mostly it is arthapatti, not anumana. So arthapatti is the basis in pratyaksha. Anumana has, of course, basis in pratyaksha. And our drishtanta, our upamana, also based on a drishtanta, that is pratyaksha. All pratyaksha. When even Shabda gives you knowledge, right? when I give a description of a certain thing to you in order to give the knowledge, like this Freedom Tower, etc. As you know much more than, but suppose you think that only Swami has seen and we have not seen. You have to assume. Many things you have to assume. Nothing to worry about, all mithya. So here, when I give a description of a Freedom Tower, generally you should give me a description, but I'm giving you the description of Freedom Tower. Think like that. This I have seen. I am giving you knowledge through the words, but that has a basis in my experience. Pratyaksha is a big pramana. Anyway, so therefore mind mind remembers something, mind infers something, mind imagines something. Of course, imagination is not a knowledge at all, but maybe sometime it has a basis, but basis has a in sense organs, pratyaksha. So, well, upasana vritti, aham brahmasmi vritti, well, cannot become a jnana vritti because it's actually a superimposition. It's a bhavana, superimposition, seeing oneself as Brahman, not a fact for the upasaka. He knows he is an individual, but he superimposes Brahman upon oneself. Such a upasana vritti avrutti, upasana means vritti avrutti, cannot become a jnana vritti. He has to know it. Like he has to know that I am Brahman. For that he has to expose himself to the Shastra. That is one. And second thing, mind cannot produce jnana vritti because mind is never a independent means of knowledge. Out of 6 means of knowledge, mind is never a independent means of knowledge. Only sense organ is an independent means of knowledge. Sense organ generate because the definition of the pramana is abaditam. What is that? Abaditam. I just forgot. But anyway. Anadigatam. Anadigatam, abaditam, arthavat bodhakam pramanam. Anadigatam, which is not known by any other means of knowledge. That's where the chakshu is. In any yoni, colors, forms are seen only through the eyes. Any yoni. And sounds, knowledge of sounds only through the ears. Therefore, what eyes reveal gives knowledge ultimately, cannot be gained by any other means of knowledge. So that is anadigatam, abaditam, and that cannot be challenged also by the knowledge which is generated by the eyes in form of colors and forms, cannot be challenged by the ears, etc., because there is no scope to challenge. There is no scope. So that is how only sense organs are the means of knowledge, ultimately. Not even mind. Mind is a supporting means. And therefore mind by itself can generate this vritti, aham brahmasmi. No, not possible. Upasana vritti is a superimposition, therefore it cannot generate jnana vritti. Mind itself cannot generate jnana vritti, and therefore ultimately one has to expose oneself to the pramana called Upanishad, and accordingly the vritti is generated based on that pramana. Vritti is generated in the mind. Either vrittis in the mind are generated based on the sense organs, or vrittis are generated based on the Upanishads, that is Apaurusheya Pramana, that is also Moola Pramana, like a Pratyaksha. So, Upasana Vritti, Abhyasa, etc., well, it comes under a karma, and all karmas have a power to remove Pratibandha, so it can produce a Chitta Shuddhi, and through that mind, well, again should go back to the Vakya Vichara, Mahavakya Vichara, etc., and then that will give rise to Jnanam. So Jnanavritti cannot be produced. Aham Brahmasmi Jnanavritti cannot be produced without pramana. But why should he go back again? Well, because unfortunately he exposed himself to the teaching before, but it did not produce jnana. Now after upasana, well, definitely the pratibandha has gone, and well, the same Mahavakya he receives again, and now it becomes a fact for this person. Aham Brahmasmi becomes a fact for the person. So that is how we have to. So his statement, Vidyaranya's statement, that Nirgunopasanam Shanaihi Sakshat Brahmajnanayate in verse number 122, the second line, we have to understand it properly. This is we understand this topic. I mean, this is summary of the topic. Ultimately, he is going to elaborate it now. And Vidyaranya wants to deal with this topic from 123 up to 157. But before dealing with the topic, he goes back, well, to the example of the Sambadi Brahma, because this Upasana is also Sambadi Brahma. So he goes back to the example which he gave before. And you know very well, in the initial verses of this chapter 9 only, he gave examples of a Sambadi Brahma, in the beginning of the chapter, where error basically leads to the right knowledge or right conclusion. Where it leads to knowledge or right conclusion, not right knowledge. So while mistaking Mani Prabha as a money, right? You know, he gave example. I will remind you. The person was walking in a very secluded place, and it turned to be now a dark. I mean, the night appeared, and so he saw one place, of course, before that, from which from the door, there was a hole in the door, and from that a light of a jewel was coming. But in a dark thing, he could not see the room. He only saw that light of the jewel from the hole, and he took it as a jewel. He thought the jewel is lying there, and he went there to pick up that jewel. When he went there, he took that light of the jewel as the jewel, and he went there and he found it is a light only, or light of the jewel. But definitely, if the light of jewel comes out from the hole of that door, definitely there is a jewel inside the room. And so he opened the door and got the jewel. So even though this is a Brahma, that he took the Mani Prabha, the light of the jewel, as the jewel, yet, and he went there, but ultimately it leads him to the right thing. He got the jewel. So this is an example of a Pratyaksha Sambadi Brahma he has given. Second example he gave based on Anumana also. Whereas a person mistakes is mist as a smoke. The person was walking on the side of the mountain. He was feeling cold, and he saw a mist in the valley surrounded by that mountains. He thought that instead he saw that mist and he took it as a smoke. And he was feeling cold, so he thought if the smoke is there, definitely there is a fire. He did Anumanam. But actually it was a mist, and therefore this Anumanam of the fire is a wrong Anumanam. So he took mist as, it's a Sambadi Brahma, he took the mist as a smoke. So Brahma means superimposition. But then, when he went into that valley, he really found a small village in which there was a fire. But that fire was without smoke. That was only a mist around. So even though he took the mist as a smoke and he went there, ultimately he got the fire to get warmth, etc. So this is called Sambadi Brahma. The Brahma, the superimposition which leads to the right conclusions, which leads to advantage. Generally, superimposition cannot give you any advantage. And that is, we always give an example of taking a snake as a rope or taking rope as a snake. In fact, taking snake as a rope is much more dangerous. rather than rope as a snake. So that is, so nowhere superimposition, because it's a superimposition, Brahma. It cannot give any advantage. But that is Visambadi Brahma we call. That's called Visambadi Brahma, where the superimposition leads to the difficulties, leads to, problems. It invites problems. Whereas here, Sambadi Brahma, well, where you take one thing as the other, Brahma only, but ultimately leads to the advantage, right conclusions, etc., etc. So this is Anumanam, basically. So, the Sambadi Brahma in a Anumanam, where, he did a wrong Anumanam of taking, wrong Anumanam of the fire based on Pratyaksha. He saw mist and he took it as a smoke, and he did a wrong Anumanam of Agni, but then he found the Agni. Yeah. So, like Mani Prabha error lead to Mani, then that's a Sambadi Brahma, example of a Sambadi Brahma in Pratyaksha. And here, this is a Sambadi Brahma in Anuman. Similarly, Aham Brahmasmi Upasana also, well, it's a Sambadi Brahma, will lead to Aham Brahmasmi Jnanam. So this is how it started. So you keep repeating Aham Brahmasmi, Aham Brahmasmi, Aham Brahmasmi. Ultimately, it leads to Aikyam, the identity between the individual and the Brahman. So Sambadi Vibranti means just as a Sambadi Brahma, Phalakale means later at the end of the effort, Pramayate, well, will lead to actual darshanam of the Mani, actual gain of the Agni, actual darshan of the Mani or Agni. Well, Sambadi Vibranti Phalakale. At the end of the effort, the person went there thinking as a Mani, it's a light of the jewel, Mani Prabha, but he took it as a Mani, but he ultimately got the Mani. So Phalakale said, well, or in the case of a Agni also, well, this person wanted warmth, and for that he wanted to go near fire. He took that mist as a smoke and he thought there is a fire there, and he went there. At the end of the effort, he got the fire. So this is called Sambadi Brahma. So Tatha Upastihi, well, Yatha in the case of a Mani Prabha and etc. etc. Tatha Upastihi. Similarly, Nirguna Brahma Upasanam also, well, Atipakataha. So when it fructifies more and more, ultimately it's karma. This fructification, etc., is possible in karma. So here also Nirguna Brahma Upasana, which is a Manasa karma, well, definitely Atipakata, it's a Panchami Arthi. Atipakat, when it ripens, when it matures more and more, when you continue every day, well, means that way it becomes mature, then definitely Muktikale Vidyayate, well, will lead to this Aham Brahmasmi Vidya. Vidyayate means it will result into Vidya, it will result into Jnanam. Muktikale Vidyayate becomes Vidya. It's a Namadhatu. Namadhatu means it is denominative verbs. It's there in English also. It's there in English. I'm giving you example. See, the denominative, the nomin means a noun. So denominative verb means basically a noun, a verb derived from a noun. And there are in English so many. Father guards his son. Guard means a protector, but they make him noun. Father guards his son. Father protects the son like a guard protects. That's the meaning. Then he shelves, Swami Tapovananji shelves the container of the sweets. Gives an example. Yeah. What happened? Let me tell you, this is a story. Well, Tapovanji, he was staying in, Tapovanji means Chinmayanji's guru. Yeah, from where? He both hailed from Kerala. Tapovan Maharaj also went from Kerala to first Rishikesh and met Shivananji and all that. And then he found, for his sadhana, he thought he will go to Gangotri. And he walked and reached Gangotri, and he never returned. Never returned till the end of the Prarabdha. So in Gangotri, there he used to teach. Very brilliant Swami. Very, very brilliant. And of course, Brahmanishta, Jnani. So there were few students who were learning from him. And this Swami was very strict. So they used to get from nearby that Gangotri temple is there, and from there they used to get some bhiksha, all these students. And somebody visited him, Tapon Maharaj, and he brought some laddus, sweets. And then what he did was, he shelved into some loft kind of it. So he put it there. So he shelved all the laddus into that place. And these brahmacharis or the students, they know that somebody had come and given this. And naturally, because they were never getting any sweets or anything, so they were depriving. So all students were talking inside to each other. The sweets have come, sweets has come, so we'll get. The poor Maharaj came to know. My God, he was, in a way, he was quite cruel kind of thing. He told the student to take it out, and he said, open it, and opened, and then told those students who were talking, told them to take it to that Ganges which is flowing nearby and dump it inside. Yeah, that why you should talk? You have come here for Brahma Vidya or for getting this? So Swami Tapovananji shelved the sweets. Means Swami Tapovanji put the sweets on the shelf. So from the shelf you get a root. Shelf is a noun. You get a root, shelves. Yeah. Swami M summarized chapter 3 of Pancadasi. Summarized. From summary. Summarized. So like we have for a Namadhatu, Urmilaji, we have several suffixes to be applied to the noun and make a verb. Same in English also, there are 7 or 8 types of Namadhatus in English also. IZE also is one of the suffix. From summary, you put IZE, becomes summarize, etc. All the passengers of the Malaysian Airlines deplaned. Deplaned. From the plane, deplaned. Means they came out of the plane because of some difficulty. So this is how. England enslaved India for 200 years. From slave, enslaved. So En, and it is a prefix actually. So like that, Rama symbolized dharma. Rama symbolizes dharma. Yeah. See? Symbolizes dharma. So symbol is a word, noun. From there we make symbolizes. So this is how it is. Just to give you a little flair of Namadhatus, denominatives. Yeah. Anyway, so here Vidyaranya has now got a mood of making all Namadhatus from Vidya Vidyayate, from Brahmajnanam Brahmajnanayate, etc. Vidyayate. So they gain this knowledge. Tatha upastihi muktikale atipakataha. Well, so muktikale will lead to this. Muktikale Vidyayate means, well, they will lead to Aham Brahmasmi Jnanavritti and at the time of liberation, etc. And now this is what he said here in this verse. That's a Pratigna Shloka actually. So it's a brief statement. Now he is from verse 124 to 157. He is going to expand it. Samvadi brahmatah pumsah pravruttasyanymanatah prameti chet tathopastihi mantare karanayatam. So here Well, Purapakshi now ask a question. This is how it is. Question, then answer, question, answer, and that way we gain a clarity. In that elaboration, he raises certain question, answers, raises certain question, answers. That's how the whole topic becomes clear within few verses. So the question is, how can Samvadi Brahma or Upasanam lead to Jnanam? Upasanam is not a pramana. Pramana produce prama actually. So when you see, you said that he saw a Maniprada, he saw a light of the jewel, but he took it as a jewel, and that is Samvadi Brahma actually. He turned out to be, he went there thinking that it is a money, but it was a light of the jewel, and but of course it was coming out from that door, so naturally in the room there must have been a jewel, and he opened it and he got it, he got that jewel. So that is Samvadi Brahma, of course. But what we are saying is that he got the money darshan of jewel not by superimposing, not by the mistake of taking the light of the jewel as the jewel. That's a Brahma. He took the light of the jewel as the jewel. That has not led to ultimately, that has not given rise to money. He actually went there, opened the door, and he saw the money. And that's how he got the money, right? Therefore, ultimately, that superimposing or error, that the light of, he saw the light of the jewel and took it as a jewel, that has not given him a darshanam of the money. Ultimately, that has led and to that place, and then he opened the door and saw with his eyes that money. So what? So basically, Mani Prabha is taken as a money, has not given him Mani Darshanam. The Pratyaksha has given the Mani Darshan. Yeah. And same way Agni Darshanam also, etc. also through the eyes. Not that taking mist as a smoke, well, has given him Agni Darshanam. No, it's a wrong Anumanam actually. Mist has no connection with the Agni. Smoke has a connection with the Agni. That is there. So basically, we say Parvato Vanniman, Dhumavatvat, Yatha Mahanase, right? This hillock has a fire. Well, we do that, this Anumanam. We don't see the fire, but yet we can say that because we saw the smoke coming out of that hillock, on the top of the hillock. So definitely can give rise to the knowledge of a Agni. So here also, but taking mist as a smoke cannot lead to Agni. Cannot give him a Agni darshanam or knowledge of the Agni. Knowledge of Agni has taken place by using his own eyes when he went to the valley. He used his own eyes and got the darshanam of the Agni. So what is responsible for the knowledge of the money or knowledge of the fire? Well, not that Samvadi Brahma. Ultimately, he used his own eyes. Then only he got this knowledge. And therefore, so that is what he asked. So, in case of Agni, etc., also it's a wrong inference, could not take him to Agni, could not give him knowledge of Agni. Only that Pratyaksha Pramana, he saw the Agni, he saw the money, etc. So, Anumanam also the wrong Anumanam cannot lead to give rise to a right knowledge. Similarly, here also, in case of Maniprabha Darshanam also, he went toward the money with a wrong perception, mistaking Maniprabha as a money. Then wrong perception led him towards money, all right, but money was discovered ultimately through the right perception through the eyes. So without pramana, jnana vritti won't take place. Therefore, here also Nirguna Brahma Upasana, that Samvadi Brahma, taking oneself, superimposing Brahman upon oneself, cannot convert into Aham Brahmasmi Jnana Vritti without operation of a pramana. What is a pramana? We know, Upanishad, etc. So Vidyaranya says Nirguna Brahma Upasanam does not produce Jnana Vritti. Well, you have to expose yourself to pramana. So that question of a Purapakshi was right. That Samvadi Brahma cannot lead to knowledge. No. Samvadi Brahma can help to certain extent. But afterwards, the knowledge is generated by a pramana only, a proper, appropriate pramana. In case of Agni and Jval, it is a Chakshu we have used. So a relevant pramana other than that Nirguna Brahma Upasanam is definitely required. Upasanam is not pramana. So Purupakshi's question is in the first line. Pumsaha means for a person, in example of a Mani and Agni, etc. Pravrittasya, who has gone to get Mani or Agni, well, Sambadi Brahmataha, due to Sambadi Brahma, well, I mean, which is a leading error, leads to a right thing, well, gets what? Prama, knowledge of Mani or Agni, because of what? Anyamanataha. So, Sambadi Brahma, well, cannot lead, it's not a pramana to give a prama. But Anyamanataha, only by application of a relevant pramana, well, other than that error, Sambadi Brahma, well, is responsible for the pramana, not Brahma. Brahma cannot give rise to prama. So, Brahma does not produce prama. So, here also a Sambadi Brahma, well, Aham Brahmasmi, that's an error. He knows he is a jiva and he superimposes upon Brahman upon oneself. It's an error actually. Adhyaropa, Adhyasa, Brahma, same thing. It cannot give rise to one day become a fact that I am Brahman. No. Definitely this can help to an extent. He is going to discuss how much it help you can gain through Sambadi Brahma. And then, well, one has to expose to Pramana, Vakya, Vichara, etc. So, Pumsaha Pravuttasya Sambadi Brahmataha Sambadi Brahmataha Anyamanataha Sambadi Brahmataha Prama Anyamanataha Iti Chet. If you ask such a question, well, Vidyaranya says Tatha in the same way, Upastihi, well, you are right, Upastihi Nirguna Brahma Upasanam also Mantare Karanayatam. Again, from Karana he has made verb Karanayatam, etc. Will be the cause. So, Upastihi Karanayatam. Nirguna Brahma Upasanam becomes a cause, will become a cause. For what? Mantare. Here Ma also means a pramana only. So, will help to come to a relevant pramana, right? So, like the light of the jewel, well, he superimposed a jewel upon that and he went there, while ultimately it leads him to use a right means of knowledge called eyes to see that jewel, and he got the jewel. So, same way, Nirguna Brahma Upasanam also will be the cause to come to the relevant pramana. So, Mantaram, Ma plus Antaram. So, Antar, Ma and Antaram. Antaram means Anyat. Ma means Pramanam. So, he has to use another pramana. Like in case of the jewel and other things, he has used this pramana to get fire or to get the money. Not that the Brahma has given rise to fire or knowledge of the fire, etc., or knowledge of the jewel. He has used Chakshu. Same way here. Nirguna Brahma Upasanam cannot convert into a Jnana Vritti, Aham Brahmasmi. But Nirguna Brahma Upasanam can lead the person to come to that relevant pramana called Upanishad, teaching of the Upanishad, Vedanta, etc. And that gives rise to the knowledge. So Mahavakya is a relevant pramana. This all is clarifying. Verse 125. Murti dhyanasya mantrader karanata yadi astu nama tathapyatra pratyasattir vishishyate. So, the student gets a little disappointment. So, because Vidyaranya said, in that verse 123, I told you, 122, I'm sorry, the second line. So, Nirguna Upasanam Shanaihi Sakshat Brahma Jnanayate. So, Upasana Vritti, that Nirguna Upasana means Upasana Vritti, Aham Brahmasmi, that Upasana Vritti, in that meditation, gradually converts, Shanaihi gradually converts to Brahma Jnanayate, gradually converts into Jnana Vritti. So, and Sakshat he has used means that directly it leads to Jnanam. So, then definitely, we have clarified in 123 that no, that leads to a certain other means of knowledge which he uses and gains the knowledge of the thing. So after 124, well, now 123, well, this basically now that is clarified. But this student or Purupakshi, well, has one thing. If Nirgun Brahma Upasanam, he has taken it literally. That Nirgun Brahma Upasanam, in fact, it is easy, honestly, I am telling you. That's how many people keep doing japa. They say we don't like these kind of classes and all. It is all klesha. So we are very happy with our japa. Many people I have found. We say come to the classes. No. We do Om Namah Shivaya japa, etc. That's better. In SH also, in Kalikala, that is good, right? So keep doing japa. Aham Brahmasmi, Aham Brahma. Because you go on a trail and you walk and you keep doing it. Here also in a home, whenever you free, you keep doing. Nothing is needed. That will one day becomes a fact. Aham Brahmasmi, right now superimposition, Brahma, error, but will become fact one day. Right now it's not fact, but it will convert. That's good. But then we in 123, 124, we said no, Mantaram, you have to use another Pramana, because in Samvadi Brahma also has not given rise to the knowledge of a Mani or Agni. It ultimately Chakshu has given rise to the knowledge. So, due to Samvadi Brahma, well, his effort has come to has become mature, and he utilized this means of knowledge and gained the knowledge. So, here, well, then he said, if Upasana does not lead, understand please, Upasana vritti does not directly get converted into the Jnana vritti. You need a Vakya Vichara, that's a Pramana, Upanishad, etc. Then I am asking you, what is the greatness of Nirguna Brahma Upasana? Why we are discussing in the whole chapter? If that is, ultimately you are going to bring that Jnanam is generated by the Pramana, and that is Upanishad only, Mahavakya Vichara has to be done, etc., etc. Then what is the big deal? Then I was already doing a Karma Yoga. I was already a Karma Yogi. And when I heard this in 122, I get a joy that, well, I need not have to study anything. This itself will give rise to Jnanam. This Upasana Vritti will convert itself into Jnana Vritti. One day it will become fact for me that I am Brahman. Now you are saying, no, it will lead like this and that. So, well, we don't find any greatness of this Nirguna Brahma Upasana. I thought Nirguna Brahma Upasana is an exception. Karma Yoga cannot directly give you this knowledge. Saguna Brahma Upasanam cannot give you knowledge. And while leading a ethical life, etc., looking upon Ishvara as a manifestation of the Dharma itself, and leading a life in harmony with that Dharma, means harmony with the Ishvara, I thought one day, well, I will gain mukti. Well, I'm Brahman, etc., I will come to know. You say no. They all will lead to Chitta Shuddhi, and then you have to ultimately gain knowledge only through Mahavakya Vichara. But Nirgun Brahma Upasana, well, I thought, because you said Sakshat Brahma Jnana Ayate. And now, so you have dampened my idea. So, well, I have no charm over this Nirgun Brahma Upasana. So, Murti Dhyanasya api karanata asti. Well, Nirgun Brahma Upasana also will ultimately lead to Chitta Shuddhi, and will get rid of the obstacles. And then you say Mahavakya, which was not effective earlier, now it becomes effective for you, gave a knowledge to you, you have understood as a fact that I am Brahman. So, Murti Dhyanasya pi karanata asti. Then Saguna Brahma Upasana also gives rise to knowledge that way only. So you get a focusing capacity, get purity, get obstacles will be removed. Saguna Brahma Upasana also. Murti Dhyanam is basically, I told you about before also, Murti Dhyanam is Pratima Upasana. And Pratik Upasana also you can take. Take Omkara as a Pratika, and well, invoke Parameshwara in Omkara and do Upasana. Saguna Brahma Upasana. So, Murti Dhyanasya api karanata asti. They also give rise to knowledge ultimately. Mantra dehe. So, mantra dehe, mantra vritti. keep mantra japa, Om Namah Shivaya, etc. Well, all they are all myths. Nirguna Brahma Upasana also will fall in the same category. Because we thought that's an exception which directly gets converted into Jnana. But there's no. That will lead to Mahavakya Vichara, the persons become free from obstacle, etc. So there is no, Nirguna Brahma Upasanam is not an exceptional thing. It's the same thing. There is no speciality. Tarhi Nirguna Brahma Upasana se ko vishesha. What is the speciality of this Nirguna Brahma Upasana? You need not have to devote the whole chapter for this. Ultimately, Jnanam is generated by this Pramana only. Then already there are other sadhanams. Mantra Japa is there, Karma Yoga is there, ethical life, etc. is there, following Dharma in life is there, righteousness, etc. All lead to Chitta Shuddhi, and that give you exposed to the teaching and then gain knowledge. Nirguna Brahma Upasana also same, you said. Then, well, no speciality. Astu Nama. With the analysis, let it be so. Well, Nirguna Brahma also will lead to Vakya Vichara, of course. Tathapi, even though this is the case that it will lead ultimately to the Vakya Vichara, lead to the other means of knowledge called Upanishad, etc. And Tathapi, even though this is same in terms of Karma Yoga and these and Mantra Japa and all are same, Atra Nirguna Brahma Upasti Vishay Pratyasattihi Vishishyate. Pratyasatti is a word used by Nayayikas. Pratyasatti means samipyam, closeness. Closeness to what? Closeness to Jnanam. That is its speciality. Tathapi, even though all are ultimately leading to the Mahavakya Vichara only, and that will give rise to knowledge, becomes Aham Brahmasmi becomes fact for that person after exposing to the Pramana only. Still, Atra means Asmin Vishay. Is a Vishay Saptami. Tral Pratyaya, I have told you before also. So, Asmin, Nirguna Brahma Upasti Vishay Pratyasattihi Vishishyate. There is some speciality of that Nirguna Brahma Upasana over Karma Yoga, Mantra Japa, Saguna Brahma Upasana, all. And what is that? Pratyasattihi. It's very close. Because you are already doing a bhavana. Aham Brahma, Aham Brahma, Aham Brahma, Aham Brahma. Brahmasmi, Aham Brahmasmi, Aham Brahmasmi, Aham Brahmasmi, Aham Brahmasmi, Aham Brahmasmi. And your obstacles will definitely go away, and will then the same Mahavakya Vichara which was totally ineffective. Swamiji, one thing I don't understand is that I am Brahman, etc. Everything I understand. Well, so that will ultimately help the person to appreciate that as a fact. And in Upadesh Sara also it has been very nicely said, Bheda Bhavanat, well, Soham Ityasau, Bhavana Bhida Pavanimata. So, Bheda Bhavana. So, Ishvara is different, Brahman is different, I am different. Well, he is an object of worship, object of meditation, Saguna Brahma Upasana, etc. No. Abheda Bhavana, Abheda Upasana is better, Ramana Maharshi told. And therefore, compared to Karma Yoga, Saguna Brahma Upasana, Mantra Japa, leading a life based on universal values, compared to all the sadhanas, this is Pratyasatti, this is Vishishyate, and that's how I have devoted the whole chapter for that, with their answers. And everywhere you will find in a Dhyana Shloka, it may be a Dhyana Shloka of a Devi or Dhyana Shloka of a Deva. Ultimately, in that Dhyanam, a Abheda Dhyanam has been given importance. Even in Lalita Sahasranama, you know very well, Aham Ityeva Vibhavaye Bhavanim. Lalita Sahasranama, if you open the book, before you read, there is all Karanyasa, Hridayadinyasa, and then Dhyanam is there. 2 verses are there. In the very first verse, the last line and last few words is this, Aham Ityeva Vibhavaye Bhavani. Aham Bhavani iti Vibhavaye. I am doing this bhavana that I am the Devi. Which? Lalita. I am that Lalita Devi. I am that Lalita Devi. So, Dhyanam also, that Abheda Dhyanam is given very big importance. And therefore, definitely, Nirguna Brahma Upasana, in which, well, you superimpose Brahman upon oneself. It's a bhavana, Abheda Bhavana. you are doing will help compared to other sadhanas. You have to expose to pramana, that is fine. Upasana is not a pramana, that's fine, but still this is very close to, closer to the fact. Pratyasati, prati plus a plus sad dhatu. This is also abstract noun. Man, you make mati. Apat plus pad, you make apatti. Gam, you make gati. Same way, prati plus a plus sad. Prati, pratyasati. This ti is used to make a feminine abstract noun. Pratyasati, closeness. Whenever abstract noun means you have to apply that ness as a suffix. Okay, verse 126. Nirgunopasanam pakvam samaditshyat shanaistatah yas samadhik nirodhakyah sonayasena labhyate. So, well, since Nirguna Brahma Upasanam is very close to Jnanam, please understand this. That is how in a Vividisha Sannyasa, which is taken for gaining Jnanam, they also, that means we have, now I am separating from you, we also have certain means for purification, but based on all Abheda Bhavana. That's how before this one, before sannyasa, as a grihastha, there is a Gayatri, where you invoke a Lord in the disc, solar disc, and you said, well, Bhurbhuvasvaha tat savituhu varenyam bhargo devasya dhimahi dhiyo yo nah prachodayat. So, savituhu bhargaha asmakam nah dhiyaha prachodayat. So, the effulgence of the Lord present in this solar disk, may it lead our minds in a proper direction. May we take a proper decision, right decisions at a right time. That's a success. Right decision at the right time is a success. Right decision at a wrong time, no success. Wrong decision at a right time, no success. Right decision at the right time. So that mind should be ready for that. Also, that clarity, that brilliance, etc. is required. So you are invoking. That's a Gayatri. Definitely you invoke that grace from Ishvara, right? So that's a Bheda Bhavana. Once you take a sannyasa, still Gayatri continues now. Even though the sacred thread has gone and the Shikha also has gone, but there is a Gayatri. Yeah. And we call it Hamsa Gayatri. Hamsaha means basically it is Saha Aham. Hamsaha means, so that is how even you must have heard. Soham Hamsaha. Like that even our priest used to say, Soham Hamsaha. There is a Hamsa Gayatri. Actually, the Hamsa Gayatri, that Upadesha has been given by a guru who gives a sannyasa to the disciple, but I will chant for you. Generally, I am not supposed to chant. Hamsa Hamsaya Dhimahi Param Hamsaya Dhimahi Param Hamsaha Prachodayat Tanno Hamsa Prachodayat, etc. So that is Hamsa Gayatri. So that Hamsa Gayatri is basically is chanted by the sannyasis. He should do the japa. So Vidisha sannyasi who wants a knowledge, he does this Abhed Gayatri japa. Earlier it was a Gayatri japa, was different. This is Abhed Gayatri japa. Why sannyasi has been told this? Because Abhed japa, Abhed upasana, is very close to the jnanam which he wants. And therefore, compared, that's how we have a puja also. We have puja, but no Veda, all this are not there basically. Abhed upasana is there, Abhed puja is there, etc. etc. Why they need sadhan chatushtaya sampatti should be there continuously to support. Yeah. In Nididhyasanam also sadhan chatushtaya sampatti. That is one thing which begins with and which ends within that is sadhana chatushtaya. I have told you is Sthita Prajna section also Bhagavan discussed sadhana chatushtaya sampatti along with the nididhyasanam, and that is mainly to shamaha and damaha. Shamaha and damaha. That's how dhyayato vishayan pumsaha sangasteshu upajayate etc. has been discussed there. So mental discipline and sensory discipline is must. That's sadhana chatushtaya. So that is how this thing continues. So Vividisha sannyasi also needs sadhana chatushtaya, or at least he has to maintain that. And so definitely he does all this abhed mantra japa or abhed upasana etc. Bhed puja, bhed upasanas are abolished for that person, looking God as an external entity etc. when a person takes a sannyasa. So Swamiji, what should we do? You have to continue with where you are, but at the same time Nirguna Brahma Upasanam you should do. The people who are committed to Vedanta for a number of years now, and they understood what is Brahman etc., what is Atma and what is this identity they know, and still ye are not able to see it as a fact that I am Brahman, well, there is some obstacle. Obstacles are there for everyone. And so they should do this Nirguna Brahma Upasana, Aham Brahmasmi, etc. Need not be Hansa Gayatri, etc. is not for the person, because that is for sannyasis who are Paramhamsa. And there are sannyasis who are Hamsa, both. Hamsa and Paramhamsa both do Hamsa Gayatri. Hamsa sannyasis are generally with the danda. Paramhamsa sannyasis are without danda. Yeah. So both of them is there. And you know our Shanti mantra also. Aham vrukshasya reriva kirti prusthang gireriva urdhva pavitro vajiniva samrudamasmi Dravinagum savarchasam sumedha amrutokshitaha iti trishankoho vedanuvachanam. So that is also a abhed upasana. Aham vrukshasya riva. I am the very root, I am the very truth of this samsara vruksha. So basically the whole, that Shanti mantra reveals the abheda between you and Paramatma. But ultimately iti means the whole thing is what? Trishankoho vachanam. Trishanku said this. But Trishanku said this means then Trishankoho vachanam. No. It's anuvachanam. Anuvachanam means, well, basically vachanam is done by the Shastra, that I am Brahman. Aham Brahmasmi is vachanam done by the Shastra. But Trishanku repeats it, anuvachanam. Oh, Trishanku also says I am Brahman. Means that's a wisdom. That is his wisdom. Yeah. I am Brahman is a wisdom for this Trishanku. So then why should we chant? Well, that's upasana. If it is not a fact for us, it is a fact for the Trishanku. It's a wisdom for a Trishanku. For us it is a upasana. Abhed upasana has so much importance. I am Jagadadhisthana, Brahman, etc. Is that is the essence in that Shanti mantra. Anyway. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.